everyone, welcome back to Selena's Simple Kitchen. Today I am home alone. I don't go into work until later tonight, so I have just been enjoying peace and quiet while the kids are at daycare, but I am hungry and it's time to make some lunch. So I figured that I would just kind of bring you guys along to make a little simple lunch for me today. And I'm just going to be making a sausage and broccoli cauliflower sheet pan roasting kind of thing. So I'm just trying to stay healthy still, trying to be there. This week has been good, but this week has been a challenge, especially after coming back from being at grandma's house and having all of those carbs and things like we did last week. I'm trying to get back in the rhythm, so we're still trying to stay that clean, good eating. So what we're going to do is we're going to line a baking sheet with some parchment paper. You don't have to grease it, you don't have to do anything like that. And then I am simply just taking, I have some frozen broccoli and cauliflower. I like using the frozen stuff, frozen broccoli and cauliflower, just because it's more economical for me. Sometimes life gets away from me and I don't use fresh veggies fast enough. So that's why I like the frozen stuff. However, with the frozen stuff, it's usually really, really stemmy. So I'll cut some of those stems off real fast before I throw them in my pan. And I'll cut some of these florets up just a little bit because they're sometimes just huge. Because, I mean, look at that. You can't eat that in a bite. So I'm going to chop those little stems off and kind of trim everything up just a little bit. This recipe technically only calls for broccoli and the sausage and some seasonings. But I'm trying to, broaden my horizons and get some better foods in my body. So that's why I have added the cauliflower. And it's just a little bit. It's just a little bit of cauliflower. Nothing crazy. Once I have those all trimmed up, I'm going to go ahead and open up my sausage. And this is just some smoked sausage that I bought from the store. And it's got the casing on it and everything. And I'm going to slice this up. And I have found that using these scissors make your life a lot easier to slice this sausage up. You can get it the size that you want, and you're not fighting like you would be with a knife. So I'm just going to slice this up into nice little bite-sized pieces. This week has definitely been challenging for me. I've had a lot of old habits trying to creep in, and so I'm really having to be very cautious and conscious about what I'm eating. Some of those old cravings have come back, and I'm trying to crave some not so healthy things, and fighting those cravings is hard. So I'm trying to find nice hearty meals that will fill me up and cause it to where I don't subside to those cravings as much. It's definitely helping. So these heartier meals like this that have all these nutrients and stuff is what I'm trying to fuel myself with. Right, this is going to be a lot of sausage, but that's okay because I feel like I need the protein. So then all we're going to do is we're just going to sprinkle this sausage right in the pan with our veggies that we have here. And you could use all different kinds of veggies if you wanted. You could honestly add probably some zucchini or some squash and do it that way instead of just the broccoli and cauliflower. But this is what I have in the freezer in the fridge. And since I'm by myself, this is what I'm just going to make myself for lunch, and then I will have leftovers for Gerald. So first, we're going to take some olive oil. You can use avocado oil if you would like, but I don't have any avocado oil, so I'm just using a little olive oil. Just sprinkle it across the top, probably like a tablespoon or so, and then I'm just going to mix it with my fingers a little bit just to get all those veggies coated in that oil so all of our seasonings and stuff will stick to them. Give my fingers a little rinse so the seasoning doesn't stick to me. And then I'm just going to take some salt and pepper, probably just a couple, like a teaspoon of each, and just sprinkle that on there. If you are needing to be low sodium or anything like that, definitely can do that. Just leave the salt off. I just like it because it gives me a little bit of flavor. Sprinkle a little bit of pepper across the top. You can use fresh cracked pepper, or you can just use regular pepper. Again, probably a couple teaspoons. And then I'm going to put a little bit of crushed red pepper flakes over mine, just a little bit, just to kind of give it a little bit of a kick. Again, probably about a teaspoon. And then I'm also going to sprinkle some Italian seasoning on this. And just sprinkle that nice and even on there. Again, couple teaspoons. Give that a good little stir to get seasonings all over our broccoli, cauliflower, and sausage. Then we're gonna make sure we get this spread back out nice and even. And then I have preheated my oven to 400 degrees, and I'm gonna pop this in the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes, and at that 10 to 12 minute mark, I'm gonna pull it out and I'm gonna sprinkle some cheddar across the top of this, pop it back in that oven for a couple minutes, and voila, we have dinner. All right, so I'm gonna pop this in for 10 to 12 minutes, and then I'll be back and we can put that cheddar on. I prefer to grate my own cheese rather than buy grated cheese from the store. So I've just grated up a good amount of cheddar cheese, probably a cup or so. That's what I'm gonna go with, and then we're going to grab our veggies and sausage out of the oven. Look at how awesome they're looking. We're just gonna sprinkle. I'm actually gonna give them a little stir first. Kind of like to give my veggies a little bit of a stir so that way they're roasted on all sides. They're looking amazing. Okay, so now we're gonna sprinkle this with some cheddar cheese and then pop it back in the oven for a couple minutes until our awesome, wonderful, healthy lunch is done. So, sprinkle. I might have grated a little too much cheese, but that's okay. I'll just put it in the fridge for later. Never have too much cheese. All right, and I'm pretty sure this is the only way I'm going to get my husband to eat cauliflower and broccoli, as if it's covered in cheese. So, there we go. All right, we're gonna throw this back in the oven for a couple more minutes. And then we'll give it a couple minutes and we'll be right back and we'll be ready for lunch. This stuff is smelling amazing right now. So it's been in there a couple minutes. The cheese is nice and melted. Everything is amazingly roasted. Look at this. Looks so stinking good. I went ahead and I made me some brown rice to go underneath this, just so that way I had a little bit more variety, because I'm one of these, I don't like flat flavors, and I don't like just a couple ingredients. I'm, as my husband says, bougie when it comes to my food. So I just made some plain brown rice. And let's go ahead and we're gonna throw this on a plate. And we're gonna be ready for our little lunch that took me 15 minutes to make, y'all. So, lunch doesn't have to be complicated. Food doesn't have to be complicated. This would also make an amazing dinner if you're on the fly and you don't have a whole lot of time. So your family can eat healthy and it looks really good too. So I'm just gonna throw this on top. Ooh, I lost my sausage over here. Make sure I get some cauliflower, make sure I get broccoli. I'm just gonna pop that on top there. And boom. My lunch, hubby and kids' dinner, 15 minutes, middle of the afternoon, took nothing to make. All right, y'all. We'll see you next time. Make sure that you give me a little bit of a like. Give me a comment if you have anything or you think anything was interesting. Make sure you subscribe.